sure you have to talk about this man, a lyrical genius, a trendsetter, a cultural icon. His influence stretches far beyond music, from shaping the sound of a generation to redefining what it means to be an artist. We've got the world boss, Vybz Kartel, here. How are you doing?
What's up, Lisa? You good?
I'm very well, thank you. You received the Mobo Impact Award, a huge recognition of your influence on music and culture. Yeah. What did that moment mean to you, especially having your fiancé there, your son and close friends here to witness it?
I mean, it was a victorious moment. It's a moment that we have worked hard for over the years. Not just to be a talented artist, but to be legendary, to be so influential that people have to say, oh, I look up to Vybz Kartel. Because I heard an artist say it the other day at the Mobo Awards, funny enough, because I said it before, on the Grammys, where we stand on the shoulders of giants. So it's good to become a giant that others can stand on your shoulders as well. So I know it inspired many Jamaican artists, many people in their own field of endeavor as well.
Absolutely. And Mobo has been a platform that champions black music globally.
True that.
What does Mobo mean to you personally and for the dancehall genre?
I mean, for us, the Mobo is like on par with any award ceremony in the world. It's on par with the Grammys. It's on par with the Academy Awards. You know what I mean? For us, especially as Jamaican entertainers, it means a lot because you know the historic, the social and the cultural connection between the Caribbean and the UK. So it means a lot to us, and trust me, the entire Jamaica championed it the other night.
Yeah,
we've
seen the love. Yeah, we've seen the love on the socials.
Yes.
You've shown love for other UK artists actually, like Central C.
Sure.
Who else from the UK are you rating right now? Any collaborations we should be, you know, looking out for?
I mean, I don't want to give away anything yet, but trust me, we have like 3 or 4 solid collaborations coming through. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And it was just announced that you were performing at Wireless Festival.
Oh yes, that's going to be crazy, man. That's going to be crazy. Wireless, we coming to perform tireless.
I like that one.
Yes.
What can fans expect from your set? Are we going to hear a little bit of Untouchable?
Yeah, you have to hear all of that, all of that. Mean take away your hurt, you know, and fever, everything. You know what I mean? Everything. Oh, ew. You know what I mean? Everything.
Yeah.
Never get the whole catalog. Just be at Wireless. If you can get tickets, that is.
I beg your pardon?
If you can get tickets, that is, because it's sold out.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And you've been one of the most influential figures in dancehall for years. Where do you see the genre going next? And how do you see your role in shaping that?
I mean, the genre is going where it was in its heyday in the 90s, in the early 2000s when Elephant Man came out, Vybz Kartel came out. And like I said, the 90s in the era of Shabba Ranks, Mad Cobra, Lady Patra, Richie Stephens. We're bringing back that era right now, getting dancehall on a more global landscape. Because if you think about it, Jamaica has given the world at least 5 world-class genres, plus we had a hand in hip-hop, plus we had a hand in reggaeton. So it's only fitting. And my role in that, well, right now I'm leading the army. So my role is to get it where it is, where it can go, so that the kids can follow suit and do it even better than me. If you can, guys.
Yeah, it's big shoes to fill, really.
Exactly.
And you've literally landed huge. Like, you've come, you're popping, you haven't stopped. How are you able to manage your family life as well as your career right now?
I mean, well, I've been doing it for years, so in terms of managing it, I mean, I have that lot, but what gives me the energy is just God, you know? Like, I think I have a lot more to fulfill, and I think that's why I'm here right now. And by here, I mean alive and free and be able to move around, you know? So my inspiration comes from God, straight up.
And other than the Mobos, has there been anything else in the UK that you've really enjoyed doing?
See them.
Oh, okay. We'll end it there. Thank you so much.
What is under me nose? I'm out.
You know, the brethren who are ride the charts, them big now and create waves in Jamaica is a youth named Chronix. The thing with it is that many artists start out them career and then just like that them end up in Africa. We see the brethren get the opportunity to reach Africa. We don't talk about it in a really up close and personal performance the night. Them first experience going to Africa, I'm going to assume say it's Nairobi in the day, based up off of when I say. Brethren, hail up.
Blessed love, Mutabaruka, man.
Chronix, so you know, man. All right, sir. Now, based upon how I hear you talk, you know, it sounds like it's Nairobi, Kenya, you did go.
Yes, man. That was the place.
All right. So, it seemed to me that it was taken aback to see the modernization of Africa in such magnitude.
Yeah, I mean, I was, as all people would say it, I was blown away by it, you know, because, you know, we know about the development and thing, we've been reading about it, you know, plus, you know, we are very closely aligned to people who live there. And, you know, Kellysa was there with me. Kellysa used to live in Africa and these things. So we have a very decent perception of Africa, and they speak very, you know, but even with all of that good introduction, I was still overwhelmed by all of this progress and, you know, just the development of the place, you know what I mean? And like, it's just a great joy because my stay there was very short, you know, my first stay there.
How long you did it? How long you did it?
We were there for 3 days because we went for a festival and, you know, we did have other things, other commitments here in a bandage over here in the West, so come deal with little commitments. But most definitely we'll be going back.
All right.
You know?
So explain to the people them what overwhelmed the eye.
I mean, it's just the all right. This is the fact. This is the fact we have to work with. I was there in Nairobi and a youth named William was bringing us around, and you could ask him anything about the history. And this is a random youth. This is not no historian or no. It's just a random youth. He is a promoter. Show him deal with. Like show him deal with. And you could ask him anything like you see a random statue and say, William, what is that? And he's like, all right, that is a picture of Jomo Uhuru Kenyatta, and it was built by, and he might tell you everything. And like, those little things that the random people them know, you know, it's very good. So the development is not just with the infrastructure and all the people them, you know,
the people
and the buildings, but the mind and like the youth them know all heap of things, you know what I mean? And it's just a random youth this, you know what I mean? So, like, that was one thing where really caused me to take a check within myself, cause, you know, there's a whole heap of things a man can ask me about like a Jamaica way. But I know. You know what I mean? About certain past prime ministers and certain things that you really don't know, and like, we comment so much about the system and this, so we don't really know about it, you know what I mean? So like, we as Jamaican now have to take a page, or more than one page, probably a chapter out of them book.
The whole book.
You know? The whole book we need to take.
Alright, so let me ask you a question now. You come back on the plane, and you sit down in your seat, and well, you say, right, you know, so I really go to Africa for you, and you figure out certain things in your mind now, and you say, I wonder if it can make any difference to how I view certain things or how I write my music. That come across in the plane?
In the plane now, the first thing that come to mind on the plane, because I was sitting beside Kellysa in the plane, I'm looking for her and say, Kellysa, I can't believe I come from Africa. You know? Because the reality is, it's not a good feeling to leave Africa. You know what I mean? Like leaving Africa, I come like you are mad car. Me I say,
like you left your mother.
Me can live. No, me can live this in the motor. No, like say, you know, some people talk and them say, boy,
you live this
Africa so nice and Africa this, but me definitely can live this. So it's not an issue as if, you know, would I live there or not. So I wasn't very happy coming back, but what the flip side to it now, I was seeing it as an opportunity now, because no few to want to experience it for themselves. Me, most definitely. I go write music different, talk different, walk different. My whole outlook on life changed. Because it's not just the development alone you see now. We got this place named Kabir right now. We're reading with the people about the community, and it's 4 million people living in that slum there in Amuta. You know, one of the second largest slum in Africa.
So you see the sufferation. You see the sufferation.
So I see the sufferation and them thing there.
And you see the opulence.
A country that is so rich. You know, and the majority of the population lives in one little slum. You know what I mean? The whole Nairobi, the majority of Nairobi, like let's say there are 7 million people in Nairobi and 4 million people live in the slum. Literally 4 million youth live there. You know what I mean? So we see it, and we see it's a direct plot by the bigger heads in the country to keep it that way, because them use that 4 million people as a political device.
Against the other one.
And as I tell people, say, you can't manipulate rich people. So them keep 4 million, which is like 75% of the population poor. So them can use them as a device, because you can't really use rich people, because rich people have their own way in a motor.
Yeah.
Rich people are some people, if them beard them, or if them no want beard them, no beard, you know. And if them not feel like eat to them, just not eat. But a poor man, him do him have to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So them keep that little percentage of poor. So it's like it's a thing now, oh go there and see, and just man put it this way. If Kenya is just the magnification of the situations in Jamaica, good and bad.
Yeah.
You know, so if something is good in Kenya, if something is good in Jamaica, it is 10 times as good in Kenya.
Yes.
And if there is something bad in Jamaica, it's like 10 times worse in Kenya. You know what I mean?
The only thing is that Jamaica have more crime going than in Kenya.
Of course. Of course.
It's more crime.
You have to, and the thing is, I reach Kenya, the first thing I do, I take out my phone and start post a pretty picture, because all me I see appear beauty. You know, it's like the place already look like when you edit a picture already.
Yes.
So the place look like when you take a picture and pretty it up. So the place look in real life. So the first thing we do was start posting pictures, and a lot of people commented and was like, is this really Africa? Are you in New York? Where are you? You know, because more people see them thing then, because for too long, you know, we have been, the worst has been on display
the
over
images,
here in the West.
Well, you have 50 odd more countries in Africa for go.
Yeah, me personally.
And based upon how the Aya movie as now, it's not far-fetched for ICE to say the Aya go travel enough in Africa.
Yeah, man. We have to consider them marked down, because the thing is, I never know I could bring myself to Kenya so fast.
Yes.
You know, I really never know. That was the first place. Like when you were in Jamaica, when it was just Mutabaruka alone playing my music on IRFM, it was Chronix was already a sensation in Kenya. So there was one of the first places in the world to take on to my music, you know?
Yes.
So they requested that we went over there as peace ambassadors.
You know,
for the coming elections.
It come like you're a big mega star when you go there.
You know, so it's like, and the thing is, them treat stardom different, you know, because stardom for them is not the person, you know, it's the music.
Yes.
So that's one thing I love about Africa, because I can walk anywhere in Africa and nobody will pay no mind.
Yes.
But when you're singing, that's when people come like them with a one dry off of the stage, and when you come out, it's good.
May I tell you, man?
You know?
There are some places where them throw money upon the stage, man.
Yeah, man.
Enough money upon the stage.
It's like, it's the music, is the celebrity,
yes,
which is the right way, because look, we are not the individual, and I don't like celebrity thing. You know, the song is more powerful than even me, because me is just the vessel, you know. And what is inside of the vessel is what matters most, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we put what is inside of the vessel out to the people, and if you see the people, treat that, because in Jamaica, you know, the vessel cherish, you know, like them throw it in the vessel and cherish the vessel.
Yeah.
You know?
Me like your combination with the daughter. What you call it? What's your name?
Kelly, sir.
I mean, when we see the other night, the little unplugged vibes.
Yeah.
Nice, sweet.
And it's same way how we do it in Africa. That was the same exact.
Okay.
And the people behave like how people behave at carnival, under the acoustic vibe.
Real.
As I say, Kenya is Jamaica with
amplified.
Double dose adrenaline.
Amplified.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
One artist went there and came back and said, Kenya is Jamaica on steroids. Yes. You know what I mean? The people are very energetic, and like they sing every song with their word for word. You'd wonder if it's for them song.
Like a Jamaica them come from.
Yeah, and then now Kelly, now she lived in Tanzania, and so she knows Swahili.
Yes.
So she go up there now and go sing one song what she write in Swahili.
A war is that.
Like them with that.
A war is that. War is that. You know, you're a Jamaican that sing Swahili.
Me say, the man them come like them that want to take her off of the stage now. You know? Yeah, so like we give thanks to all of them things, because Kenya is not a hit song place.
Yeah, it's a song
place. So me go there and sing something or mean something to them, them just start want the most way, and you know, so We have to give thanks.
Jamaican audience beats up off a hit song. For you sing a hit song, you can't come off of the stage.
Yeah, man.
Them no want to hear something with them don't know. Them no want to hear something with them don't know.
I see artists go on stage and perform 12 songs and people stand up during 11 of them.
And when them hear the first,
Just
the last
stand up
one.
And when him sing the one tune, then clap and go on the motor and then him come off.
Yeah.
Well, if I say go for me, I would just like to go sing my one song and leave, you know? And I'm not saying me stand up and me I sing my song and me I go and buy soup. And you go, there's like a kill time. I wait for me to sing the hit song. Run, come on in front of
You get branded. That means what you try bring cross is not what them is dealing with. Them want hear the part where them regular know it and from the done that them
exactly.
So them get them lick you with a song, you know, like you become a song rather than recognizing
right
that
now,
message.
We just want to urge Jamaica to take up the book from Africa and read it.
Yes.
Yeah, not just one page because we far backward in America. Like everywhere we go in Africa, it's like from we go to Africa, I'm gonna climb up my step. It's just elevator and them little things there.
Yeah.
Them have and them very not just with them infrastructure and with them physical, layout of them country and all of them things and them planning, but them mind is very
serious.
Like them way ahead of it.
Of course.
Because remember in Kenya, they must send money on them phone, Them not forget Western. Take a taxi, you pay for the money on your phone, Pay for the taxi fare.
We still have struggle to get the money and the phone.
So just like how we send each other credit, Muta can say Chronix, say me have a light bill to pay and just send you the money and I pay it for you on my phone.
On your phone.
So some people them have some little ingenious things about them and it's them come up with it, It's not a foreign idea.
Not a copy. Yeah. All right, so now that you come forward, you're writing a song since you come forward?
No, because one is like the brain of I and I now is so me just make it go and settle down. Because normally if I tell you the truth, Muta, he's not a person who sit down and like write music,
Yeah.
Me just allow music to come and sometimes when it come it frighten me because me know me not as smart as my music.
Okay.
I promise you.
Yeah, you don't look that smart. You don't look that smart for true. You don't look that smart for true.
No, I'm not that smart. I'm not as old as what is coming out in the music.
Yes.
I'm not as reasoning with me. Says a youth have him head screwed on, but it's not necessarily the level of wisdom that come out. So I prefer when the music flow divine rather than me sit down and try to use my own understanding and pen words together and things because that I will come out less.
So the touring circuit in the summer there in Europe and things, I got to see enough of you through. You don't set up certain things and you got to do the touring circuit in Europe this year.
We leave in April for Europe.
Yes.
For I think it's for like 14 days or 12 days, and then we go California now for the festivals in summer, and then after Europe for the
go back to Europe now for the festival then. So, all right, so well, as we are saying, we are watch you and we are look on it and we say you make the right move, so don't do the wrong move. Yes, sir?
Yeah, man, give thanks and praise every time.
Yeah, man, Rastafari, give thanks.
Live.
Yes, that's Chronix visit to Africa. Really sweet. The virgin get to go to Africa in this young part-time career.
We look at Africa and we hear that Africa is the richest continent, but it have the poorest people them. We look at Africa and we hear say Africa was once the cradle of civilization and the glory and the splendor of Africa. Yet in this modern time, we still look like we can't get to think together. Why we can't get to think together? Why so much diverse political, religious arguments about how to liberate Africa? When really the liberation of Africa must be with the people. But when we look at Africa today, when we look on the leaders of today, we recognize that you can't hardly find a leader if you can't find any that is representing the people, the majority of the people, so to speak. Because most of these leaders was educated in Europe. Most of these leaders have a European outlook. They do have a Pan-African outlook. Their liberation for Africa is embedded in what they learned in Oxford and Harvard and Cambridge and all these things. So you find a whole heap of them, after gaining their education, them go back to Africa and then go into the political system and then become presidents or prime ministers. And they have the same thinking that the slave master have for Africa. How can you free Africa with the slave master ideology, philosophy, religion? How can you say you want to free Africa when most of the things that cause Africa to be in this degradation is the same education you get from the same man who enslaved your ancestors and is still enslaving us? We need some leaders who can lead the people, because we don't want to hear that the people lead and the leaders have to follow, because that sometimes leads to some devastating effect upon the population and upon the country. We need some leaders in Africa that know and understand what it is for Africa to be free, to develop its own potential, to really deal with its resources rather than to have the Chinese, the Americans, the French, the Portuguese, all of the different nations that enslave Africa, to be still in Africa right now, plundering, raping, robbing and stealing. Look how much songs have been sung. Look how much speeches have been made. Even this speech I know is one of the speech them. Why is it that we're so reluctant and so thick-headed and so engulfed in white supremacy that we can't recognize that the liberation of Africa is dependent on African people, not on the Chinese, because the Chinese have their own agenda, the French have their own agenda, the British have their own agenda, the Americans have their own agenda. None of them is working in the interest of African people. It is we that must free ourselves. That's why Marcus Garvey said, confidence in self. If you have no confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. And the race of life right now is to allow African people to design a system and confront the past and deal with the present to go inside of the future. Too long now, African people is depending on them slave masters to free them. Political ideology that come from Europe cannot free African people. The white man God cannot save black people from oppression. You and the man who enslaved you have the same God can't free you from the man who enslaved you with his God, and it's still enslaving us with his God. Right now, Christianity is spreading across Africa more than it's spreading across Europe. As a matter of fact, more European countries now that you see is politically and economically up there. It's moving away from that. Yet still Africa is embedded in it to the point now where you have Africans who take up the mantle of what they call televangelism and is robbing and raping the people them with the same thinking where the white man did come to Africa with the same thinking that the white man have in him country. The only difference between we and them right now is that them is using them religion to get rich, and we is using our religion for them religion to bow down our knees every day talking about we praying. Marcus Garvey said the black man prayed too much, he must get up off his knee. That is really what is happening. So we recommend that the people them have to decide them destiny right now. We're not looking for next hero, we're not looking for next Marcus Garvey, we're not looking for next Kwame Nkrumah, we're not looking for no other leader right now. We the people must lead. And if the people lead, the leaders must follow. And that is what it is. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We're not waiting on no more hero. We don't want no more Marcus Garvey and Patrice Lumumba and Paul Bogle and all these things. That is not going to help us now. We have to take up the mantle from where those people start and end and continue the journey. And the journey is we are ahead of us. Because every time we go forward, we see we take some steps backward. Look at how we live in. Look at what we're praying to and how we're praying. Can you truly say that what we are doing right now is liberating African people? And I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the collective. Because somehow we get through the crack. For some reason or another, a whole heap will get through the crack. But we're talking about a nation as a national system, a national understanding of self as African people. We as African people must decide must design and must maintain our Africanness, no matter what. Because when we take it, white supremacy is what is governing the world right now. And we have to come out of the class of that, because logically, we wasn't supposed to be here. After 400 years of destruction from the African race, we wasn't supposed to be here. But guess what? We survived. We survived the Atlantic Ocean. We survived all the slavery, the oppression and all them things. And we're still there. So if we are still here after all of that, things can't get worse. It must get better. And it's up to we to get it better. Out.
Because the first thing, you hear them say, we were brought here as slaves. We, This is the only time when black people mention we in the connection, Because it's slavery, them say, we were brought here as slaves. You see, we don't want to go back to Africa, because we never come from Africa. But we were brought here as slaves. So the student is taught that is we that. But no, him, over the years, he must go to church. And the church have a big influence on him. And the church are telling him about these different places in the Bible. But not one Sunday, the pastor will come out and say, I know the Garden of Eden was in Africa. The pharaohs were kings in Africa. Them not saying that. So the lack of understanding and the connection is not there for a little youth who are sitting down and listen to this thing, including myself when I are youth. Because I never hear a preacher mention Africa pan a pulpit yet in relationship to myself and the connection that African people have with biblical places. So the student is left now with a total disorientation of self beyond 500 years. So beyond 500 years, there's no history of black people in the minds of African people in Jamaica. So when you tell a youth, say, boy, say, alright, here's the question where I asked them. And it was amazing, and I am have to share it to the people them. The question when I asked the youth them, what you know about Egypt? They say, everybody put it, man, Egypt is a wicked place, sir. What you know about Pharaoh? Pharaoh is a wicked man like Prime Minister, sir. Right? Alright, so now, Pharaoh is, first of all, they never even know that Pharaoh is not the name of an individual person, but it's a title given to the kings of Egypt. So they never even know that. So when everybody go cross this, so see, because we just want them get a consciousness of what we are dealing with now about Africa and geographically. So we're going to look on them now, we're going to say, how much people inside there know about geography? One school we go, nobody inside there couldn't define what is geography. One school, and now I call the name of the school. One school, none of the people them could have defined what is geography. Alright. So when we say, anybody inside there know geography? And we say, yes, sir. And they say, alright. So we're going to draw a map. So we draw a map. We draw a map of Africa. And to them now, it's like, why you bring up Africa in the Bible? You understand what I say, Cliffy? Why we bring up Africa in the Bible? Because it's when you start to put in the name them of the country them now, like Egypt, Northeast, and you come right down and you put in Ethiopia now, and you say, Ethiopia is not a Rasta thing, So you mustn't believe, say, if I say Ethiopia now, it's because I am Rasta why I say Ethiopia. But the first identifiable country name in the Bible is Ethiopia. My old grandmother Bible, we have whole heap of picture in there with the angel and Jesus and God and all them things there where Michelangelo paint. When you open it and it tell you about the Garden of Eden and the 4 rivers that encompass the river, the this and that, it mention Ethiopia. Maybe they have a different name now. Maybe they put Kush. And most people can identify Kush with Ethiopia. But those who know say it's Ethiopia that talk about still. Alright, so we hear about the 4 rivers and we hear about the rivers them. And now, because hear the next question when I ask the student them, I ask them, say, anybody ever hear about Iraq? Everybody say, yes, sir. Bush invade Iraq. We say, all right, so they know something about Iraq. Anybody ever hear about Babylon? Them say, yes, sir, Babylon are police. Is that some little youth, you know? Babylon are police. We say, all right, where's you hear about Babylon? Them say, well, Babylon, sir, have a wicked people. Same like Egypt. So I say, anybody ever hear about the Nebuchadnezzar? Say, yes, sir, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon. So I say, if Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, and I say, Babylon was a place. Them never know that. And I tell them to look here, if you listen to the news carefully, on CNN and BBC, you will hear that a lot of the soldiers them enter Babylon in Iraq. So the next question I ask them now is, what about Babel? They say, yes, sir, the Tower of Babel. God confused the language of the people them. I said, did you know that Babel was in Iraq? The only reason why I don't know is Iraq, because it never did name Iraq at the time. Just like how Iran never did name Iran. But if you should get a map, because you used to have the map in the Bible, you know. They used to have the Bible land them in the Bible, you know. The geographical location, them old time Bible used to have it in, right? But even though these places geographically was shown by picture in the Bible, the masses of the people never connect it. And them the person standing up on the pulpit never allow them to connect it. Because Africa is not supposed to represent anything outside of slavery. So we look on them now, we say, all right, did you know that the pharaohs, if it's African, it's black people. It's black people. It's not Caucasian people inhabit Africa. It's black people. And the Ethiopians went down into Egypt and occupied Egypt. So it's black people we are talking about. All right. So we will show them now, say, well, most of the time when we think on Bible people, it's white people we think on. That is without a say, without doubt. My granny sit down on the veranda and she really believes that Jesus is a white man. She really believes that Moses is a white man. She really believes that Pharaoh is a white man. She can't connect no black nothing past slavery. Most Jamaican people from the masses will read Bible and die for this Bible and sit down on them veranda right now at age 80, 70. Sit down. Don't connect these stories with Africa. Because all them know about Africa is that Africa is a place where wild people there, naked people run up and down, people eat people there, and then no white people bring them on here so and turn them in a slave. So we're trying to make the student now come out of that mindset. And the teacher must allow the student them to come out of that mindset before them can take them into something higher. Because this is now the biggest part of the pyramid. The basic part of the pyramid. Where the student have to connect themselves in history. You have to make the student, just like what you tell them, say, that's why the student say, start up and say, we came here as slave. Him have to know, say, we build the pyramids. That is what the student have to know. The student say, we came here as slave. The student have to know, say, is we build the pyramids. The student have to know, say, is we invent mathematics. That is what the student have to know. You cannot disassociate these